What AI strategic assessment actually looks like. AI assessed a 138-year empire. The verdict shocked us. De Beers UK case study. This is the final page of a 34-document strategic assessment of De Beers, the company that made diamonds desirable, that invented the engagement ring tradition, that controlled up to 90% of the world's diamond supply for most of the 20th century. The assessment's verdict is an F, not for failed operations, for absent operations. 0 campaigns launched, 0 of 9 strategic targets engaged, 0 of 10 objectives pursued. Between $245 and $375 million of organizational capacity consumed for 0 strategic return. The entire assessment, every document, every finding, every calculation was produced by an AI assistant using a single methodology, no consulting team, no months of fieldwork, one structured framework, one AI, 34 cross-referenced documents. This is what AI strategic analysis actually looks like. Let me show you what it found. What artificial intelligence strategic assessment actually looks like. De Beers UK case study. Strategy by artificial intelligence. First, some context. De Beers was founded in 1888 by Cecil Rhodes. For over a century, it dominated the global diamond trade. The Oppenheimer family built it into one of the most powerful commodity businesses in history. The phrase, "a diamond is forever," launched in 1947, is considered one of the most successful advertising campaigns ever created. De Beers didn't just sell diamonds, it created the cultural meaning of diamonds. Today, De Beers faces a threat that no amount of market share can address. Lab-grown diamonds, chemically identical, optically identical, 90% cheaper, and production capacity is scaling at 20 to 30% annually with no physical limit because you are growing crystals in reactor, not mining them from the earth. But the assessment found that lab-grown diamonds are only one of 4 simultaneous existential threats. Enemy 1. Lab-grown diamond producers. Their business model requires the destruction of natural diamond premiums. Enemy 2. Price transparency platforms. Rare Carat, Stone Algo, and others whose algorithms eliminate the information asymmetry De Beers has relied on for over a century. Enemy 3. The government of Botswana, which controls 70 to 75% of De Beers' rough diamond supply through the Botswana Partnership, and whose new president has explicitly stated the goal of gaining full control over the asset and its value chain. Enemy 4, and this is the one most people miss, Anglo-American, De Beers' own parent company. Anglo has been trying to sell De Beers. That sale process has consumed 60% of De Beers' organizational capacity against the 15% the assessment recommends. The parent company has become, in the methodology's classification, a self-generated enemy. Now, here where conventional business analysis stops and strategic analysis begins. A consulting firm will tell you De Beers faces competitive challenges and recommend strengthening the brand and investing in digital. All plausible, all generic, all insufficient. What strategy by AI calculated is this: 4 enemy-level threats, each requiring 40 to 50% of organizational capacity to address. That's 160 to 200% capacity requirement. De Beers has 100%, and 60% of that 100 is already consumed by the Anglo-American divestiture. That leaves roughly 30% effective capacity against threat requiring 160 to 200%. The mathematics are structural impossibility. So the methodology didn't produce a wish list. It produced a triage. One supreme objective: establish ultra-luxury natural diamond positioning above $20,000 retail, concentrating on less than 5% of market volume for 25 to 30% margins. This means deliberately abandoning 85% of the diamond market by volume. Why? Because in the mass market, lab-grown wins, period. 90% cheaper for an identical product. There is no marketing campaign that overcomes that arithmetic. But above $20,000, 6 asymmetries flip the competitive equation. 138 years of brand heritage versus decades. Geological scarcity, fixed planetary endowment versus unlimited reactor production. A billion-year formation narrative versus 7-day manufacturing cycles. Luxury house legitimacy built over a century. Artisanal craftsmanship tradition. And the emotional significance of tradition itself. Choose the diamond your grandmother chose. The 6 asymmetries are worthless in the mass market. They are decisive in ultra-luxury. That's the dislocation, competing where your advantages matter and the enemy's advantages don't. The assessment didn't stop at analysis. It built a complete operational strategy. 5 coordinated campaigns over 60 months. Campaign 1, brand transformation. Converting De Beers from volume supplier to ultra-luxury heritage curator. 25 to 30% of capacity, $150 to $200 million, launching first quarter 2026. Campaign 2, distribution optimization, terminating 1,800 of 2,000 sightholders partnerships, replacing the wholesale network with 150 to 200 flagship boutiques in 15 to 20 global cities, 35 to 30% of capacity, $300 to $400 million. Campaign 3, counter-narrative, attacking lab-grown producers' sustainability claims and constructing the natural diamond heritage story, 10 to 15% of capacity. Campaign 4, Botswana partnership, securing the supply relationship before Botswana's resource nationalism reached the point of no return. Campaign 5, Anglo-American management, reduced to 5 to 8% of capacity, down from the 60% currently consumed. Total investment, $565 to $775 million over 60 months. 9 strategic targets identified, prioritized, and assigned specific resources, timelines, and success metrics. This is what a complete strategic plan looks like. Not recommendations, not bullet points, specific targets, specific resources, specific timelines, specific measures of success or failure. And then the methodology did something no conventional analysis does. It turned around and asked, is any of this actually happening? The answer is devastating. Campaigns launched, 0. Targets engaged, 0 of 9. Objectives pursued, 0 of 10. Phases of the 7-phase execution cycle completed, 0. 6 of 7 execution dimensions rated deficient. 1 rated marginal. And that was only because De Beers maintained the strategy rather than abandoning it prematurely. They get credit for not quitting a plan they never started. The overall grade, F. The assessment identified 9 critical decision points, forks in the road where De Beers needed to act. All 9 went unresolved. The institutional default is inaction under uncertainty. The Anglo-American sale process has created a fog that froze the entire organization. And the strategic window is narrowing. Lab-grown market share is projected to reach 25 to 30% by late 2026, up from 18%. Every month of delay erodes the base from which transformation could launch by roughly 5 to 8%. The assessment's culmination analysis, that's document 30, center of gravity formation, found that De Beers' capability peak arrives around mid-2027, But the decisive market moment doesn't arrive until late 2028 or early 2029. That 15 months gap means De Beers will peak and start declining before the battle is ever decided. Unless a strategic buyer, a luxury conglomerate like LVMH or Richmond, extends their capability timeline through acquisition, the mathematics produce what the assessment calls a fatal culmination center misalignment. This is the kind of finding that conventional consulting doesn't produce. It's not an opinion, it's a structural calculation. When does the organization peak? When does the decisive engagement occur? And is there enough time between those 2 points to win? The answer without a strategic buyer is no. Let me step from De Beers for a moment and talk about what this demonstrates. This assessment produced 34 cross-referenced documents, strategic identity analysis, hostile environment mapping with 28 entities classified across 4 threat levels, a complete strategic situation assessment, war definition with bounded strategic segment, an objectives hierarchy with 9 prioritized targets, 5 campaign architectures with resource allocations, and then 9 separate execution assessments covering command, cohesion, tempo, friction, culmination timing, uncertainty management, adaptation and termination, all synthesized into a final verdict with evidence chains back to every preceding document. This was produced by one AI assistant, guided by one structured methodology working from publicly available information, no insider access, no proprietary data, no team of analysts. The methodology that directed this analysis is called strategy by AI. It derives from military strategic science, the same analytical tradition that has been refined through centuries of warfare, adapted for business and political applications through 6 integrated modules. The point is not that AI replaces human strategic judgment. The point is that AI, given the right structured reasoning framework, can produce strategic intelligence at a depth, speed, and cost that was previously impossible outside the largest consulting engagements. The complete De Beers case study, all 34 documents, is available for review at strategybyai.org. The methodology itself is available for purchase and immediate use with any major AI assistant, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, or others. In the next video, I'll walk you through how the analytical stage works, how strategy by AI takes a company from zero knowledge to a complete hostile environment assessment and strategic situation analysis. You'll see the actual prompts, the actual AI processing, and the actual outputs step by step. If you are interested in what AI can actually do for strategic analysis, not chatbot tricks, not generic summaries, not structured professional intelligence, subscribe. There is more to show you.